Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Solo ReacTalk. This afternoon, I'm going to be reacting to a video requested by Undergrudence Lorelli. It's called Warcraft Lore Vol'jin Secrets, made on the MrRhexx YouTube channel. If you guys want to check out my previous reaction to other World of Warcraft cinematics and trailers or videos, lore videos created by YouTubers, remember that the reaction playlist cards are going to be at the top right here. Yes. Vol'jin. Vol'jin was a surprise when he became War Master. Not War Master. Oh my gosh. War Chief. Sorry guys, I'm mixing Warhammer 40k and World of Warcraft. Sorry about that. Yes, War Chief of the Horde. He was a surprise. He was a short-lived War Chief. If I remember correctly, he suffered mortal wounds during the battle with the Burning Legion. I just can't remember the name of the battleground where they were fighting, but yeah, he suffered a mortal injury on that battle. He died in Orgrimmar, if I'm not mistaken, and he named his successor Sylvanus. He named his successor Sylvanus. So yeah, in his time as War Chief, I'm not particularly sure how successful he was as a War Chief of the Horde. But I know for certain, I think he was far better than his predecessor, Garrosh. Because Garrosh, yeah, he was taking the Horde into places they should not be there, you know, especially in terms of the Mists of Pandaria. The way he led the Horde, it was just truly unfortunate. And Vol'jin's successor also led the Horde into a very unfortunate path that they are still trying to recover from, you know, from the actions that they committed. So yeah, the Horde has really not been a force for protecting those that have joined it, but they've become a force of antagonizers. And that was before Vol'jin became the leader and after Vol'jin became the leader. So during the time when he was the leader, you know, he tried to unify and to keep the Horde as one cohesive force. That's what I'm thinking. I am not entirely sure about that. But he was taken away too quickly. If he had stayed a bit longer, if he had contributed a bit more, you know, maybe things would have been different. Maybe Sylvanas would not have been able to achieve her objectives. Yeah, but, you know, that's hypotheticals and that's theories, and there's no point in all of that since he has passed. But yeah, let's see Vol'jin's secrets. 3, 2, 1, go.
We have a new faction leader, Vol'jin. Now these are big shoes to fill, considering the last leaders were Thrall and Garrosh, both who went on to do great things. Garrosh.
I don't know about great things when it comes to Garrosh. I don't. Let's not exaggerate. What's his name? MrRhexx. Let's not exaggerate. Okay, let's not exaggerate. He did not do great things. No.
Terrible, yes.
Yes, terrible.
But great things.
Okay. Okay. Maybe in Orc standards, he did great things. Maybe in Orc standards. I don't know about the entire Horde, if they also think the same way. Yeah.
Troll governing an orc city, maintaining an alliance of trolls, taurens, undeads, orcs, and elves. Now that's a hard thing to do. Does it have what it takes?
War Chief, no.
Oh man, I haven't played this game in years. Oh wow. Maybe I should get back to it. Hearthstone, maybe I should get back to it.
To understand Vol'jin and where he comes from, we have to understand what he does. Vol'jin is a shadow hunter.
Shadow hunter. Okay.
Now think of a shadow hunter like a shaman, but instead of communing with the elementals, they commune with spirits. These spirits are called loas. To give you guys some perspective, loas are stronger than elementals, but weaker than gods.
The only loa I know is Bomsandi. From Zandala forever. Yeah, he's the only loa I really know. Yeah.
That being said, anything can be a loa. A rock, blood, a human, a cat, an ancient power of cataclysmic proportions, really anything, as long as that which you're trying to commune with has transcended the inexistence of death or the physical realm. Now, the way it works with shadow hunters with these spirits is also a little bit different. For the most part, a shaman will try to appease the elementals by calming them down, which pretty much turns into hearing their troubles and helping them in whatever form the shaman deems necessary, and as a reward, they get the trust of the elementals. Now, after this trust is earned, the shaman can call upon these elementals almost like a friend would, and they after that are at the beck and call of the shaman. It is a relationship of respect and bonding that is earned. For the shadow hunter, it's more about bargains and deals than a friendship. Friendships can be earned with these spirits, but for the most part, they will ask for something and in return they'll give you power. The easiest way to see it is by the fact that these loas, at least most of them, used to be people before, or living things in general. They have wants and needs, desires, greed, really most things that a sentient being would have. Others have been primal forces from the beginning, but get stronger the more offerings they receive, so the concept of greed is not lost to them. Now, the cool part about a shadow hunter is that the powers that you get for communing with these spirits changes depending on the spirit that you're convoking. The spirit of a great ancient boar could give you extraordinary power, an old spider could give you immunity to poison, or an ancient tribe protector could turn you into a bear.
Yeah, these are nice abilities, but what is the cost? What is the cost? Because I remember the king of Zandala also made a deal with a loa, which then chained his soul, if I'm not mistaken, and also the soul of his daughter. That deal transferred to his daughter once he died. So what is the cost of making deals with the loa? Is it really worth it? Really? Turning into a bird, yeah, it looks cool. Turning into a bear, it looks cool, but what is the cost?
Its effect extremely varies, and there are all kinds of things that can happen from these exchanges of power.
We never die.
To appease these loas, however, is where voodoo comes into place. Voodoo is a traditional way of appeasing the loas, a type of divine magic that combines shadow and nature magic with some alchemy on the side. What happens in some of these voodoo rituals really depends on the loas that you're appeasing, but it is well known that a lot of troll tribes sacrifice hundreds of trolls in some rituals, and in others even resort to cannibalism.
Oh my gosh, sacrifice and cannibalism? No, man. How the trolls have fallen. To resort to such barbarity. No, that's not nice. That's not nice. I have sympathy for the trolls and what they've gone through as a people, but if they're going to be committing actions like this, I'm afraid my sympathy has its limits. And then I'm with the Alliance. I'm on the side of the Alliance. They gotta end this type of backwardness. They gotta end it. Yeah. Or maybe someone within the Horde has gotta, push the trolls to stop doing this. There's other ways to gain power. You don't have to be, killing your people or consuming them.
It seems weird to you to use cannibalism to appease the spirits, but thing is, some of these spirits actually are jealous of living beings. Some of them wish they could still be alive, which in turn makes them rage against the living.
And that is why we should not be communicating with them. Especially the trolls, I'm saying. They should not be communicating with these lower. They are a detriment. They are not an asset. They're a liability.
The trolls, to evade this, eat themselves because they believe that when you eat somebody, the spirit gets destroyed or at least severed enough for them to not be able to lash out against you. The types of voodoo also differ depending on your class, so a shadow hunter practices it a little bit different than say a witch doctor does. A witch doctor is more akin to an alchemist or an apothecary, using voodoo to fill concoctions, where a shadow hunter is more akin to a killer or a warrior, sacrificing enemies or allies. Now, did you know that in Warcraft 3, Vol'jin actually used the in-game model of a witch doctor? He was probably first intended to be one in the beginning, although chances are they didn't want him to be confused with Rokan, who was also a shadow hunter. Another hilariously interesting thing is that he, alongside Soul the Sandcrawler, are the only trolls in the entire game of World of Warcraft that possess facial hair. Honestly,
Really?
go look. There's no other troll in the game with facial hair.
I'm thinking about the cinematics. Facial hair, right? Yeah. I don't think I've seen any. Okay.
So now, back to Vol'jin. We know what he does, but who is he though? Let's go back years, guys, a long time ago in Warcraft 3. The Darkspirit tribe at the time had been driven away from their homeland, which was in the mainland of Stranglethorn Vale. They were driven away by tribe disputes with the main Guravashis. They settled on what we assume is nowadays the Lost Isles. In there, the tribe suffered enormous assaults by Murloc raids, constant everyday assaults.
Murlocs? Murlocs, those frog people? Wow. You guys were beaten back by Murlocs? That's embarrassing. I'm sorry. I am so sorry for you guys. Oh my gosh. I guess even your lowers can't protect you from the Murlocs. Oh gosh.
Sen'jin, who is Vol'jin's father and leader of the tribe at the time, forced Vol'jin to take his initiation trial into becoming a shadow hunter earlier than what was expected. You see, Sen'jin saw visions of the future, visions granted by the Loa that served him, and in these visions, he saw the tribe had no future in this island and that time was running short. So Vol'jin went on his initiation with his childhood friend Salazane. Now, we know that Salazane was the one that stole the Echo Isles from the trolls in World of Warcraft, which
Wait a minute. I think in Warcraft 3 did I see this happen? In terms of the Murlocs chasing away the Darkspirit clan. I can't remember right now. It's so far back. Sorry guys, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I'm digressing. Let's continue.
Was the reason they were forced into Orgrimmar to live. But did you know that during this initiation, both Vol'jin and Salazane saw a vision of the future, and in this vision, they both saw that at some point they were going to be forced to battle each other to the death. A vision that, of course, we know eventually happened. Visions given by the Loas are almost always right, and are the main way for shadow hunters and witch doctors to, sometimes, see into the future. Remember this, cause it'll be important later. Now, the interesting thing is that this initiation seemed to have only lasted a week to him, but in the real world, it lasted for 3 months. So when Vol'jin came out of there, his tribe was nearly destroyed by Murlocs and a sudden human invasion. All seemed hopeless, but thanks to the sudden intervention of Thrall and his ships full of orcs that happened to be passing by on their way to Durotar, a lot of the tribe was saved, except Sen'jin, who ended up dying saving his people. Now, this is when the Darkspear trolls bowed to serve the Horde, as thanks for Thrall saving their lives that fateful day. Now, did you know, even though most trolls left with Thrall as he sailed to Durotar, Vol'jin actually stayed in the Lost Isles for a very long time. He wanted to weather the attacks of the Sea Witch that controlled all the Murlocs for a while longer to gather as many supplies as possible before leaving, something that took him an entire year. Thanks to this, he ended up missing the entire battle against the Burning Crusade. You see some trolls in that battle who are those that followed Thrall, but their chief was stuck fighting Murlocs instead in the Lost Isles. Now eventually, Vol'jin brought the remaining trolls to the Echo Isles, where he founded his troll city and settled there. And we know that after that, Salazane came and took over the Isles by mind controlling a lot of the trolls and disrupting their affinity to the Loas, something that surprised everyone. That's a lot of power right there. Regardless, after a couple of expansions, he managed to take it back thanks to a specific Loa that I will talk about a little bit later, and thanks to a lot of planning, of course. Anyways, this is pretty much his upbringing as a leader. He didn't really start with that much experience, and he was extremely young when his father died. Because of this is why you always saw the Darkspear trolls kind of take more of a backseat when it came down to the big events in the world of Azeroth. Twice were the times when the Echo Isles were attacked, and twice were the times when they decided to escape the Isles instead of staying and fight. Something very different than what it is used to be seen by the troll tribes. They would rather die fighting. Vol'jin's power, however, not just as a troll but as a leader, comes from his strategic mind. He's the only racial leader in the Horde that Thrall would always have at his side in any decision making, especially.
Oh, wow. Okay, so he was like a right-hand man of Thrall. And because, when Thrall did not want to accept the responsibility to become war chief again after, the demise of Garrosh, and he immediately chose Vol'jin. I was also surprised by that. I didn't understand why. I didn't even know who he was, Vol'jin. I didn't even know who he was. Why would, Thrall make him become the war chief? Why would he vouch for him to become the war chief? But to hear from MrRhexx that Vol'jin was very close to Thrall, and you could say that he was a right-hand man of Thrall. It's also quite interesting. It's very important information here. It kind of makes you understand a little bit more about why Thrall would make that decision to not become the war chief and give it over to Vol'jin. Yes.
Those that had to do with fighting. He has always been of a mind for tactics and strategy. This is important because if you guys remember, it was Thrall at the end of Pandaria that chose Vol'jin to become the next warchief of the Horde. A decision he did not choose lightly, and we will spend the next couple of minutes exactly figuring out why. Vol'jin is not just smart, but he's wise and honorful. As soon as Garrosh assumed control of the Horde, Vol'jin foresaw the issues that were being born thanks to Garrosh's hatred and anger, and from the get-go opposed the bloodshed inflicted by him.
Are no longer part of my horde!
Now, during the events of Cataclysm and Pandaria, Vol'jin would go and cement his relationship with the other racial leaders in a way that could completely bypass most of World of Warcraft players. Not because some of them are very subtle, but because most of these events actually happened in the novels and are never really shown in the game. During the entirety of Cataclysm, the relationship between the Orcs and the Taurens started to die out, and quickly.
Really?
Garrosh had killed Cairn in a duel, and every decision that he made after that angered Bane. From the mana bomb that exploded Theramore Castle to the inclusion of Blackrock Orcs into the mix of the Horde, all decisions that Bane had previously advised against, and that without even mentioning Garrosh's complete disrespect of Bane during these conversations. But you know who was always in Bane's side? Vol'jin. For most of Cataclysm, Vol'jin became a solid friend to Bane. They would converse about the war, about Garrosh and his anger, about the possibility of guarding each other's back if their case arose that either of them would need it if Garrosh would completely lose it.
Look, I don't like to guess things like this, right? But if Bane and Vol'jin were to try and commence a coup d'etat against the war chief, I think Garrosh would kill them. I really think Garrosh would kill them. That man, or that orc, I should say, is a formidable warrior. And if he decided that he wants to kill Bane, he wants to kill Vol'jin for the security of his hegemony over the Horde, I'm sure he could do it. He could succeed. And even if they did join forces, I think Garrosh was going to kill them. I think the only person who could really challenge Garrosh is Thrall. Everybody else, I just don't see you guys winning against him. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Even if he's not under the influence of the old gods, physicality, his abilities, or should I say his skills in fighting, I think he would overwhelm, Vol'jin as well as Bane. I just don't see you guys making it out of a conflict alive with Garrosh. I just don't see it. Yeah.
bond, even if not as strong in this case, would also arise in Pandaria when Vol'jin sided with Lord Themar of the Blood Elves when tensions grew red between the Blood Elves and Garrosh's orcs. Vol'jin told Themar that he would be at his side if it turned to that, and conversed about the possibility of a rebellion to take down Garrosh and bring peace back. Vol'jin was also instrumental and the one to thank for the peace between the Alliance and the Horde, since it was Vol'jin who agreed to ask help of the Alliance that they would attack by ship while the rebellion attacked the gates from the front, in an effort to together take down Orgrimmar, an effort that, after the attack, resulted in both factions being at peace, even if tenuous.
Man, I forget how tall trolls can be, you know, because they're always, you know, kneeling and just crouching. But if they were just to stand on, you know, full length, they would be really tall, taller than human beings, and probably reaching orcs at their height. Yeah.
Thrall said that Vol'jin kept the Horde together during all of these events. He meant it. If it wasn't for Vol'jin, the Taurens and the Blood Elves would have probably left the Horde, and then it would have just been a matter of time until the Alliance would destroy the bloodthirsty Garrosh and his Horde. So we know where he comes from, and we know what got him here, but is he going to be different than Garrosh? I mean, Shadowhunters are not known for being nice or pacifist. Hell, if anything, most people in Azeroth would consider them evil, because of the heinous crimes they make to please the Loas.
You mean the cannibalizing and sacrificial rituals? Yeah. Oof.
Well, that's the interesting part. You see, back in Cataclysm, Vol'jin was met by an envoy of the Sandalari troll tribe. He was asked to come into a meeting of troll leaders with members of the Guruvashi tribe, the Amani tribe, the Ice Trolls, and more to form an alliance whose goal was to take back the lands of the trolls and bring back the might of the troll empire back in Sandalari times.
Zandalar, forever.
You see, back before the Sundering, when the world was a Pangaea, there was only one massive big troll tribe, and that was the Sandalari tribe. Their might spanned the entire planet, but after the Sundering happened and the land split, the entire troll empire split into multiple halves. You had trolls stuck in the north that became the Ice Trolls of Sul'Jurak. You had the Amani trolls in the Ghostlands, the Guruvashi trolls in Stranglethorn Vale, and the Sand Fury trolls in Tenaris. They owned a lot more land than this before, but because of massive starvations thanks to the Sundering, their small empires turned even smaller to what you see today. Anyways, all the trolls were getting together to form the Sandalari tribe again, unite all the troll nations and take back the land that was rightfully theirs. Vol'jin was one of the troll tribes that said no to this, stating that bloodshed wasn't the way and that he already had a family in the Horde, and that if war was what they wanted, that Vol'jin would fight back. It shows the honor of Vol'jin, his wisdom, but more importantly his peace-loving mind. He wants no bloodshed, no war, no unnecessary killings. Even much so, in fact, that Vol'jin actually warned the members of the Alliance about this unification of the trolls to make sure that they were prepared to face them, something that Garrosh would have never done. He would have
Yeah, that is also quite a surprise. I did not know about that, you know, Vol'jin informed the Alliance, their mortal enemies, that his own people are going to be uniting to create a force to reclaim their past empire, you know. I mean, there aren't that many trolls left, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe they are. Population-wise, there's still quite a lot of them. I'm not entirely sure, but you know, they are not as strong as they used to be. And the Alliance, one by one, they would crush them all these tribes. So the fact that Vol'jin would tell the Alliance about something like this, you could say it is a like a treacherous, you know, type of activity that you would not expect from someone from the Horde. Because if he's capable of throwing his own people under the bus like this, what else is he capable of doing? Really, what else is he capable of doing?
hoped the trolls would attack the Alliance by surprise and then take advantage of that surprise to finish them off. So Vol'jin is wise, strategic, honorful, pacifist, has a powerful bond of trust with the Taurens and the Blood Elves, especially so since he also warned the Blood Elves about the Amani insurrection that was about to happen. He also practiced the arts of the monk who would chant Stormstout while stuck in his village, because, did you know, Garrosh actually tried to assassinate him. His plot to kill Vol'jin.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But in terms of assassination, I find that a bit surprising. I would expect him to, go straight ahead to Vol'jin himself personally, to take this matter personal. to take out his war axe and kill him himself personally, not send out assassins or warriors to go and kill Vol'jin. I would expect Garrosh himself to get off his throne and head straight to Vol'jin and kill him. That's what I would expect.
Barely failed, and Vol'jin had to rest while wounded with Chen in his village for a while. During this meantime, Vol'jin would go and help defend his village from attackers, forever earning him the trust of the Pandaren people. Fun fact, if you look at some of the models for Vol'jin, you'll find some that have this scar in the neck. This scar is from this attack. Vol'jin can easily regenerate it if he wants to with his
Wait, he was attacked by Garrosh. Okay, so Garrosh did attack him personally. Alright.
troll powers, but he chose not to, as it would be a reminder of his failure getting himself in a position to trust a person like Garrosh. The scar would also change his voice, deepening it, as to even more so change himself from who he was before. He, for the moment, sounds like the perfect warshift for the Horde, but the last thing we haven't touched is, well, his powers. We mentioned before that he has massive shoes to fill, coming from Gul'dan or Grim
Hey, my guy Gul'dan.
Doomhammer, Thrall, and Garrosh, all impossibly powerful warriors, capable of amazing things. But this is Vol'jin's specialty. As a master shadow hunter and the strongest of them all, Vol'jin can cast fire, electricity, manipulate the elements, cast storms, heal the wounded, transform enemies into creeps, polymorph himself into a druid, impossibly fast regeneration and invisibility. His allegiance to the law allows him to command the armies of the dead. He's also one of the only living beings in the world who can revive fallen allies.
How did this guy die to the hands of the Burning Legion if he can do all of these things? Where was all of this? Where was all of this power, during that battle? I just forgot the name of the island, guys, that they were fighting on. But yeah, they were fighting against the Burning Legion. Gul'dan was there. King Revan of the Alliance was there too, if I'm not mistaken. And Vol'jin has all of this power, yet for some reason he just died. I think he was stabbed in the stomach, right? With a horn or something. Yeah, I can't remember.
Including himself. Virtually invincible, his low eyes Won Sambi, the master of death. He
Bomb Sandy!
who empowers Vol'jin and prevents him from dying to collect souls for the dead god. He gave him a vision of the future, a future where Vol'jin destroys the world and ushers a new age for the Horde. This is your new warshift. You subscribe.
Okay, guys, yeah, that is it with Warcraft lore Vol'jin secrets made on the MrRhexx YouTube channel, requested by Underground's Bro Larry. Yes, Vol'jin, yeah, he has all this power. He has all of this political maneuvering and negotiation and diplomacy with all the other races of the Horde, but it did not save him. It did not save him when the Burning Legion were beginning their assault and invasion on Azeroth. It did not save him. Just like with King Revan of the Alliance, it did not save him. Both of these very important figures of the Alliance and the Horde died on that battlefield. Or should I say, the Horde and the Alliance were pushed back. They were defeated. They had to retreat. They failed. And after Vol'jin's death, the Horde just descended further into disrepute under the leadership of Sylvanas. So yeah, during his time when he was alive, he did some maneuvers, some political strategic maneuvers that were for the safety and the peace of the Horde as much as possible, in terms of not joining up with the Zandalar trolls and all the other trolls that wanted to reclaim the good old days, if I can say that. He did relay this information to Horde members and Alliance members, trying to make sure that there is still going to be peace on Azeroth, and it's not going to be broken by the Zandalar trolls or any of the other troll tribes that are going to be joining for this campaign. for reclaiming their old empire. And yes, what he is as a shadow hunter and what he has to do to appease the lower is deplorable. Cannibalizing and sacrificial rituals just to appease the lower. No, that it's not worth it. It's not worth it, especially when you are killing your own people, when already your population size is not, in a very good standing. There aren't that many trolls. So the fact that you're killing your kin this way to appease your lower, you're devouring your kin this way to appease your lower. I just don't think it's right. I don't think any power is worth that type of bloodletting. No. So in that respect, I don't support the trolls. That's where I stop with my support. And I would insist that they would change that type of culture as soon as possible. Yeah. Hopefully they have, in the World Soul saga, maybe they have changed as a society. Hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers that the trolls have changed. But yeah, his leadership style was different from his father, and it was more politically, strategically, diplomatically, encouraged compared to how his father led his people and how, his successor would lead the Horde, if I can say that. During the time of Garrosh, he made sure that the Horde would not disintegrate because of how Garrosh was so abrasive, if I can say that. He was abrasive leader who didn't really value the unity and the strength of the Horde. He just wanted everything to go his way or the highway. He did not want to listen to reason or to suggestions from other Horde leaders. He wanted to lead the Horde the way he saw fit, and he forgot that the Horde is not just the orcs. There's other races in the Horde, and they all need to be included. They all need to be shown and to be trusted and to be seen as part of the Horde in equal standing, and not in this hierarchical standing of the orcs on top and everybody else is at the bottom. And Vol'jin saw that. Vol'jin understood that the only way for us to keep united as a cohesive force, we must all respect one another. We must all recognize one another. We must all work together as equal partners and not as master and subservient races. Yeah. So in his time, he tried to make sure that the Horde would not disintegrate. And when he became the war chief, it was duly given to him because of his experience as a leader. It's not his birthright to become war chief. He did not get this title through violence. He got it through trust and understanding and experience as a leader. Someone who was the right-hand man of Thrall. It doesn't get any higher than that. So because of his experience, because of his political and diplomatic stance, and his strive for peace between the Horde and the Alliance, and within the Horde itself, Thrall recognized him as the perfect successor for the Horde to become war chief. And I think Thrall was right about that. Definitely, he was right about that. It's just unfortunate that none of them could see what was going to happen beyond the horizon in terms of the Burning Legion and his, demise on that battlefield. Yeah. But I think he was a good war chief, The fact that Sylvanas also recognizes you, or should I say recognizes Vol'jin, and she also tried to save Vol'jin's life as the war chief. it just shows that even the most difficult person within the Horde can, truly trust and like Vol'jin, and that is Sylvanas. Sylvanas doesn't really like playing the game with everybody else in the Horde. She is her own woman who is very independent, who tries to do things for the betterment of her people sometimes. But yeah, she gave that respect to Vol'jin as well. And she also saw him as a leader. Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's it with the Vol'jin secrets. Thanks, MrRhexx, for the video, and also thank you, Undergrundens Broleri, for the request. Yes. What does Undergrundens Broleri mean? What does that mean? I think I gotta look it up on YouTube. Not YouTube, Google. Yeah, I gotta Google this name. Undergrundens Broleri. Yeah. Alright guys, that is it. Remember, if you want to check out the original video as well as MrRhexx's YouTube channel, the links are going to be in the description below. If you like my reaction, give it a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay? Good night.